She's up there in her flying harness waiting for her cue that's never gonna come.
I'm ready!
So Zoe 101 had really annoying characters. Drake and Josh had some really unlikable, cynical characters. iCarly tried to be better, but still kinda got lazy with its character growth moments. But there is one that ruins all of those in terms of how bad it is. And yeah, it's Victorious, guys. After going through Drake and Josh and iCarly, and specifically Zoe 101 constantly, I'm forced to see how bad Victorious is. And I thought Zoe 101 would be way worse, but this show is just plain unhinged. Like, I don't know who was driving the forklift when they were lifting this show to Nickelodeon, but they were passed out. I'm gonna say it, they were passed out at the wheel. Similar to the iCarly video I did recently, most offensive episode to me, out of every season of Victorious and kind of compare them to each other. And then, of course, I'll take a look at everybody else's stuff over the internet, see how they compare to what I critique the show for. So yeah, let's get like Victoria justice and make it shine. What's up, everybody? It's Johnny 2000, focusing on 2000s movies, media, and so much more. Don't forget, guys, I also now have a merch store, so please check out some of my new outfits. How cool would it be if we started a cult? No, I'm just kidding. I mean, but what is a cult if not just a group of friends agreeing on something? Okay, let's not start a cult, but let's get into Victorious for sure. Okay, so season 1, not that insane. Well, I mean, for Victorious standards, I feel like in terms of a regular sitcom, it is one of the most cynical, heartless tease fests I've ever seen. And other shows do that, like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is all about main characters being unlikable.
Hey! Did she not say? It shouldn't be that hard to find someone to put up the money.
But these guys are insufferable in a completely different way. Aside from season 1 having some really mean or inconsistent character choices, this episode in particular just bothers me. It's season 1, episode 16. It's called Wok Star. I had a lot to choose between for this season. Ironically, the whole premise of this episode is that Jade wants to put up her own play called Well Wishes, but the school won't pay for it because of the content in it, which, surprise, surprise.
Yes! That was so good! She killed it! Woo!
I also have to point out they left a blooper within the episode, which I did not expect. Look at this.
Yeah, what's up?
After school, oh my god.
Tell me that wasn't a blooper. Like, there's no way that was in the script. The episode starts with all the characters trying to find Jade, and they discover she's in the janitor's closet, carving up the trash can like a pumpkin. I don't know how she's even doing this. Tori, whose only character trait is to be the main character, pretty much promises her that she could help Jade produce her play. Or she doesn't really say that, but Jade insinuates that that's exactly what she meant, which is funny.
Well, then it shouldn't be that hard to find someone to put up the money. You'd really find me someone to put up the money to produce my play?
And that is no easy feat. Do you know how much money it is to put up a show, a theatrical show at that? If the school's not doing it, I can't imagine who's paying for this. Like, what's supposed to be a really sweet episode about a friend trying to put on another friend's show just has to be Jade threatening Tori to give her what she wants. Like, there's no kindness in anybody's heart. It feels like Zoe 101, but stripped of all the plot and the characters just talking to one another. It's kind of crazy. Like, I feel like in the future I would show this to my kids to show you how not to treat people, you know? And if you saw my iCarly video, you can see that the Dan Schneider shows don't really like to do a lot of research on approaching other ethnicities, like iCarly's I Go to Japan, and as you could tell, Wok Star is already a joke against a culture.
He that is not right is often never wrong. What?
And it's clearly adult writers making these scripts because Tori's iPhone in the transitional sequence has a crazy statement. Will someone please give me $3,000 for Jade's play? It's so funny. It's like Tori Vega has a Patreon, but it's not even for her. But my point in this moment is that why in the world would somebody tweet like this? Like, this is not the way we used to express ourselves online. Like, if anything, it was the opposite. Like, this is having Tori be super specific, but really, like, we would just say, had a bad day, or something like that. And I like how Tori just makes this everybody else's problem. Like, she's eating with Robbie and Andre and is like, how are we gonna pay for this play? And asks Robbie to dip into his bar mitzvah money.
But what about your bat mitzvah money?
First, it was a bar mitzvah. I am a boy.
Theoretically.
And it's like, guys, there's no positive energy coming from this at all. The woman who works at this restaurant claims that her daughter tried to go to Hollywood Arts and they said she was irritating, which, guys, at least make me like the school. I can't like the characters, I can't like the situations, and now I can't like the system of the school? Victorious, like, has no shame.
Ooh, HA jacket. You kids go to Hollywood Arts?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, you know, my daughter auditioned to go to school there, but they said she was talentless and irritating.
This waitress somehow volunteers herself to produce Jade's play for her, which is kind of crazy. So then, as they prepare to start rehearsals for Jade's show, the restaurant lady keeps showing up and acting kind of like a stage mom or diva director.
Sing it again, Daisy!
Don't cry! Don't you cry, little girl!
And of course, this woman has to have a few notes on Jade's script. That trope of somebody making a piece of art only for another person to say that they'll help with it if they change it completely is done a lot in sitcoms, but it's a little too real for me to even acknowledge. Like, it feels like I'm in LA again. This conflict is really cool because, I mean, it's worked before, but in this sense, it's a lot harder for me to care because obviously this is going to affect Tori the most, but Tori doesn't seem to care how it affects other people at all. So why do I need her to be satisfied? And plus, this woman isn't super likable, and it's not like they're trying to protect her feelings. It's more so like they're all trying to avoid accountability at the same time and dodge it. I don't know, it just feels to me inauthentic. Jade and this woman get into a fight pretty quickly.
I don't need anyone's ideas.
Well, you need my money, so you have to listen to my suggestions.
No, I don't. Jade.
You do too.
I do not. Jade.
Do too.
Lady, I'll smack her.
And I also doubt somebody at the age of 16 would understand the emotional complexities that come with putting up a show like this. And I feel like Tori is just automatically empathetic toward it, like when really in reality no kid would actually know what to do in this situation. This woman keeps trying to insert her daughter in the theater and have her in the show, which this lady must have so much money because the plot of this is crazy. The girl, though, is so good at playing somebody that doesn't know how to act. She must really know how to act. But they essentially force this girl to do it, and nobody wants it. The mom is the only one who wants this to happen. I wish there was like an emotional connection to the mother, like a mother-daughter relationship issue. Maybe Jade and this woman just somehow can't collaborate, as opposed to two people that really suck not being able to work together over and over again. They could have used this as an opportunity to have Jade and Tori actually open up together and be friends, but Jade consistently shuts her down, not really letting it happen at all. And considering all the stuff Tori is doing for her, it's almost hard to watch the kind of disrespect. Later, they're playing cards at Tori's house, and it never occurred to me how rich she is. Like, this house is huge. And she tells the guys what happened, essentially, but it kind of makes me angry because they all hang out without Jade, and Beck is like, oh, what'd she do? As if Jade wouldn't have told him first. So, like, the idea that Jade is just this piece of work that even her boyfriend is dismissing like this, doesn't even get information on himself, it just kind of says a lot about the character to keep somebody around like that. It feels vicious. Andre suggests that a way to avoid this diva director is have a famous person go in restaurant long enough for them to change the play back to what it normally was.
You don't know who she is?
Maybe I've seen her before.
That's Jackie Bonet.
Jackie Bonet?
Yeah, she's starring in that huge new movie with Taylor Malone.
Which, how in the world would that work out logistically? Like, are you really trying to re-rehearse an entire second show while putting on the same show? And don't even get me started on how tech would work for that. Like, you just rehearse it and rehearse it. So Jade and Tori end up leaving this woman's daughter hanging on the fly-in theater thing. And it's like, come on, guys, you didn't need to take this out on her poor innocent daughter. Like, there's no way. Of course, they somehow have to use Trina, so they make her the fake celebrity coming into the restaurant. And so the rest of the episode is kind of a stall-a-thon, where they're trying to just get through the whole show and distract this woman long enough for them to get through it. Jade's whole point in this episode is to impress her father, which I actually like. I feel like that's a very relatable for Jade, and the things she's done in the past have not really been relatable. But yeah, how they treat Trina versus like forcing her to do this favor for them is really annoying. And poor Ariana Grande, in this episode, she's essentially like a pawn in the plot where she's just acting like she's in the show for Jade, and that's all she does. She doesn't even get some good jokes in this one. But yeah, the dad plot didn't really need to go anywhere. The woman ends up interrupting, seeing that Jade's show is slightly better than theirs, and I guess we just threw all realism out the window and just assumed this was possible.
I'm ready. Mom? Mom?
With the main character barely making any decisions this episode, more so being forced by her enemy to deal with the repercussions this entire episode, it feels unnecessary. It feels like if this was cut out, nobody would notice. And the jokes aren't even worth it. Except for the bar mitzvah joke. I do think it's funny that Tori asks Robbie for his money and he says he can't because he needs makeup. I think that's honorable. Although there's no way the writers made it in a way that wasn't making fun of his character. Let boys wear makeup! Okay, for the second season, honestly, this is the show's peak. I felt like the first season was okay. The second season is definitely an embodiment of what the show was trying to be, even though the peak is not that high, guys. Season 2, episode 9, Tori tortures teacher. You'll notice a lot of these episodes get lower on my list specifically because of the character actions. Like, I just feel like this is what drives a television show. And having the characters act so uncharacteristically out of place just to get some good jokes in is really annoying to me.
Just wandering about.
Aw, how cute.
Isn't she?
So, why don't you take her home?
Oh, I'm not into rabbits.
And that's exactly what Tori Torture's teacher is. It's like an entire episode that's essentially a sketch. Everybody's gathering for class. Jade and Beck are in another argument. Love seeing how abusive that relationship is. And Psychowitz announces that it's his 10-year anniversary. And the only thing he got from the school was a coffee maker. So Tori is pretty insistent that maybe they could give him something better. Which is actually a really genuine start. I feel like last episode, just right out the gate, was really bad. But this one at least takes its time. We have Trina treating the senior class like a piece of meat, trying to hit on all of them, which she clearly doesn't even know a little bit of their personality. She just picks them out from afar.
There's Sean.
Who's Sean?
Oh, he's 160 pounds of senior hotness. And I am gonna make him love me. I know, right? Yeah. Okay. See you there.
Dude, Trina's so dirty as this character. Like, she just gets worse and worse as the show goes on, being essentially the cast's meme to make fun of. It kind of reminds me of that era where we were taking pictures of people you would define as ugly and essentially calling them ugly. Like, it's not a nice mentality. I don't think anybody in the world is actually ugly. Like, the way we joke about it is never in good fun. The cast pitches in to see a show together. And as they're sitting in the seats, they get the entire theater to laugh along with what they're saying.
Come on. Nuge. Nuge. Huh? See?
Yeah.
Feels good, right? All my students, try it. Nuge. And now everybody.
Which is like, this is the unrealistic meta jokes that I don't like. Like, stop taking me out of the plot. I can believe these are characters. So Trina pretends to be this Italian restaurant, and she impersonates being Italian, which is not really that offensive, but it's kind of funny, actually.
Italianes! Can I help you? Oh, yes, we are still delivering free pizzas. Oh, what's your address?
Your accent is so vague.
She's trying to impress him by making him a pizza. And she ropes Kat into it for, like, no reason here. Ew, remember these frozen pizzas? I have a lot of friends that do actually like frozen pizzas, but for me, it's just like, no, I can't do that. The play is actually really painful to watch because it's beat by beat about Psychowitz's life, essentially, as a failing artist, somebody who's suffering to be a teacher. It's about a midlife crisis, which why in the world would you bring like a 40-year-old man to something like that? And if I have to get annoyed at these phones one more time, a transition where Tori tells the world, oh, Psychowitz was late for class, that dumb play upset him. There's no world where we're giving updates about our teachers' mental states in the Twitter world. Yep, then the Psychowitz we know and loved is just depressed this entire episode. It kind of gives me the vibe of Drake and Josh's episode when they had Helen have her surgery and Drake and Josh had to take care of her. Like, that was actually in good spirits, and like, we got to learn more about Helen as the episode progressed. But here with Psychowitz, it's just him being like unexplainably sad and depressed about his life, making himself the butt of every joke, essentially. He even uses Jade and Tori to reenact a really depressing scene and makes them do it over and over again, only to walk out the window.
Scene. You both have the same line. Life is pain. So you just keep saying that to each other. Over and over. Do it, action.
This man is borderline, I don't know, we should call a hotline on him. Tori tries to open up to the counselor, which is usually the same guy, thank God. And he's no help. He's essentially like, why did you do that? That's horrible. And I hate when a show plays into this teacher trope for laughs. Like, it's funny when they're like silly and stupid, but when they're just non-empathetic and not caring about the kids' well-being, that part kind of disturbs me. It's like, come on, you could at least be nice. Turns out he's not even depressed because of the play, but his wife left him, or his girlfriend, I forget what it was.
I'm not depressed because I miss Catherine.
Then why have you been all...
I miss her pet. Bunny.
And you could tell that there's like a big class divide here. Like, Psychowitz doesn't even wear shoes half the time, and these guys are the richest of kids. Like, have you seen Tori's house? We can't not acknowledge the privilege here. And I'm starting to get tired of Trina trying to hit on this guy by posing as a pizza lady. Like, it's borderline stalkerish. The guy's not even nice or worth it. And it feels like a skit without jokes. It's just her being crazy.
What are you doing here?
Bringing a special boy a special pizza from Italione.
If you know me, I hate like food jokes. Like, I hate when they put the pizza at the front door because it's like, guys, she did not deserve that. Jade's whole plot line is her and Beck fighting over text, so we don't really even get to see it happen. We just see Kat asking her about it.
There! What'd you text him?
Oh, and it turns out they're trying to set up Psychowitz with a woman, which they didn't really clarify. They just went straight to auditions. It's kind of a funny joke, but it's also just unrealistic. So yeah, they get a bunch of female actors to come in and read with Psychowitz, and they're essentially trying to pair him up with a date. And if you're an actress in LA, you should know that this is definitely a frustrating thing. Like, somebody could actually do this. Then there's a big revelation moment, but it's not really a revelation. Psychowitz just pulls Tori aside and says that he doesn't miss his ex, he misses his ex's pet. And he was just telling her that. I don't know what is going on with this show. Like, they have auditions and they try to do this whole setting Psychowitz up with somebody, but it doesn't pan out. There's no bigger goal they're setting themselves up for. It's just unexplained trials of trying to cheer up Psychowitz, and it doesn't even end in a good heartwarming moment where anybody gets accountability for any of the nice things that were done. It's just everybody being used as props to essentially tell a joke about a teacher going through a depressive crisis. Yeah, it was funny though. I do have to acknowledge in a lot of these episodes, there are funny jokes. Like, in retrospect, maybe they're not like the best, but they definitely were good. One of the weakest episodes, not only in season 2, but in the series, because there's just so many open opportunities to make the characters grow or develop or even keep track of their relationships, but it seems like they throw that all out the window whenever they get a chance to. Also, it's hard to find new things that Quentin Reviews didn't already discover. I love that guy's channel, and I love doing these kinds of retrospectives, but like, it is important that I kind of have my own take on these things. And for me as a storyteller, a writer, I feel like the character development, just how the plot progresses, is the biggest insult when it comes to Victorious. Like, Zoe 101 did Victorious better. iCarly, it started out pretty good, and it ended up getting really bad. Coming from the perspective that you need somebody to be in a relationship, to be happy, like, that's also kind of annoying to be told from the writer's perspective, because you know you're a show about teens' lives. Like, you're trying to paint them to be obsessed with relationships and having that be their whole purpose. I mean, maybe you guys don't feel that same way, but growing up, I definitely felt a lot of pressure to be in relationships, and that was like the ultimate goal, and I feel like they're definitely leaning into that in this episode. The only solve in this episode is they get Psychowitz a bunny. The end. I don't know what to tell you.
No. Bunny's a cat.
A cat?
Yes. The woman I was dating named her cat Bunny after her Aunt Bunny, who's dead.
Okay, so if you guys have heard of this show before, you'll know that seasons 3 and 4 can also sometimes just be season 3. There's 26 episodes going forward, but 13 of them are in the production order of season 3. 13 are in 4, but then on Netflix, they like put them all together. I don't know. Point is, this is 2 separate sets of batches of episodes that I'm going to dive into. This first episode is from season 3 in the earlier batches called Driving Tori Crazy. And this episode is the perfect example of the quality decline between Victoria's season 2 and 3. Like, at this point, they're not even trying. This feels like a glorified sketch show that just keeps going on and on with running character bits that don't necessarily need each other.
Hey! Little girls! You can't drive those in the street!
Flag off!
Like, something I really like about Seinfeld is the way they weave an A, B, and C plot together at the end of the episode. You have a problem that reflects another character's problem, that reflects another one, and then they all come together to solve it. With a bunch of characters with good intentions that often butt heads because of their needs not being met. This is not doing any of that.
All right. It got worse.
Driving Tori Crazy is an episode about Tori trying to get to school. Who cares that we're at Hollywood Arts? Who cares that we're learning about acting? I want to do an episode where Corey is late to school. Which makes me even feel more annoyed because in Zoe 101, Lola weaved acting into her storylines more than this show.
It's okay, it's okay.
I'm so sorry.
And it's supposed to be about a Hollywood Arts high school. Before we get into the negatives, I do want to talk about the positives because there's very little. And my favorite one is getting to see each character one by one having a moment taking Tori to school. They're using it as an excuse to like kind of get deeper into the characters. And, you know, you'll see that it's really annoying because it almost makes the characters look worse than they actually are. So it was like an almost really good concept. I feel like if we got more meaningful moments that also could have been funny instead of just slapstick crazy moments, that would have been better. When Trina takes Tori to school, she forces her to shave her legs while she's driving. And that's really annoying because it's like, you guys don't just drive together to school anyway. For God's sake, even iCarly had an episode about saving the environment. We're just not gonna go for that.
Hey, move, lady! I'm helping the environment! Stupid hippie!
Hey! Little girls! You can't drive those in the street!
Flag off!
And I ain't just talking trash.
Yeah, so Tori complains at school, and Beck is like, I'll take you tomorrow. And then when we think this is about to be super normal, Beck is driving with a bunch of girls fawning over him. And it's like, this really does happen to him every morning before school? Like, that's insane to me. I mean, it makes sense because it's like he's single in this time period, but I don't genuinely believe that people are following this guy around that closely. And I know Yvonne Jogia, which is the name of the actor playing Beck, actually wrote a book about his experiences on this. So if you guys read Jeanette McCurdy's book, this is probably a good sequel. The way the girls act toward Tori is disrespectful. Because if we know the main characters to do disrespectful things, obviously the side characters have to be even more ridiculous, literally ending in a physical altercation on the drive.
Did you just call me a grunge? Oh, yes, I did call you. Okay, that's it!
So Tori has to go with Andre instead. Andre has to bring his grandmother, which is so funny that happens every day.
Girl! Would you hold my oatmeal for me?
Sure.
Put your hands out!
Okay. Why did you do that?
You said you'd hold my oatmeal!
And then we just go from car to car, and this whole episode feels like filler. Sure, there's no actual story or plot anyway, so it's like filler for just filler's sake. Of course, I love Andre's grandma. She's one of the funniest characters in all of the shows. But after having seen Drake and Josh, even a little bit of Zoe 101, I feel like they did it better earlier in the Dan Schneider's TV series runs than now.
If you don't like it, why don't you drive yourself?
I don't have my driver's license.
Where's the bathroom?
Did you just break our door in?
I rang the doorbell. I waited 25 seconds. Nobody came. What was I supposed to do?
So yeah, Tori ends up having to go with Robbie, which ends up being a complete joke. They just make fun of Robbie to no end on this show. And at this point, Tori is just ungrateful because before they had a reason for her to not want to ride with everybody, like they're definitely disrespecting Tori. But in this scenario, it's like, this guy's doing you a favor, Tori, and you're just complaining and embarrassed. It gets taken a step way too far when it's Jade who takes her to school. It's so funny because like at first you're like, why would Jade offer this? And then you see that like she's insinuating she's going to kill Tori. And it can't be that bad. Like, we just got off the first season of seeing her ask Tori to produce her play, and in the third season trying to murder her. Like, it's unhinged. And the most annoying thing is when Tori walks into school, like, literally beaten up. The only thing Kat could possibly ask her or say to her is this.
I know. And that shirt is not a good color on you.
Yeah, not a good friend. So Kat comes in and supposedly saves the day by ordering them an Uber-like parody, but it's more for a party bus. With this party bus meaning nothing to the characters, doesn't have anything to do with the plot. It's almost like they're bringing back the cupcake machine just for no reason. And guys, this is when I physically yelled at the TV. They end up turning this into a dance number.
And you looking nice. Got me cooler than a bag of ice. Now freeze, freeze, freeze. Now go.
Drop it fast and move it real slow.
What?
Like at first it's just like, oh, Tori has to share the bus with other friends. Oh no. And then it just gets turned around with the bus driver joining in and everybody singing Five Fingers to the Face, which, if this song wasn't already bad on its own, the fact that it's not progressing to the plot and we just watch every character say one by one, Five Fingers to the Face, it is the most frustrating bit I've ever seen in all of teen television. And I will die on that hill, guys. This is so unnecessary to see this happening. Like, all this good talent on screen, and you're telling me these people showed up every day at 8 a.m., filmed for 12 hours to put this together. Come on!
And you know I'm living large. I got a big white house and a fancy yacht
And a garage full of classic cars.
What you talking about, boy?
Oh, calm down.
No, you don't think you can just come over here and buy me?
At first, when I saw this, I was like, oh, cool, so the episode's actually starting now, and it's more about having to share this party bus, or take the bus to school, and maybe they're late, or it ends up being worse. But no, the conflict is just everybody took the bus, and then the musical number is the way the episode ends. We do not see these characters get off the bus, even go to school. We just have them sing Five Fingers to the Face and close on credits. Are you kidding me? If this were a movie theater, I would have walked out. And it's just getting frustrating at this point because it's like, I want to be easy on this show, but they just take every left turn they possibly could until I'm mentally living in a circle. Did you guys get my metaphor for that? Me neither. But yeah, if you ever wanted to completely guarantee you will waste somebody's time, show them season 3, episode 8, Driving Tori Crazy. You will not be disappointed. Or have your expectations met, I guess. Okay, so I was kind of hoping I could say that season 4's episode is not as bad as the rest, but I really feel like they're getting worse and worse. This episode is season 4, episode 10. It's called Brain Squeezers. And it takes place almost completely on this game show, but everything wrapped around it is just as disturbing. So it starts with Tori telling the gang that she's going to be on a new reality TV show that is competing for $10,000. It's called Brain Squeezers, and apparently it's the new hit show, even though Andre doesn't even know what she's talking about. Sinjin is able to confirm this, but Tori just kind of shuts him down for no reason. And this is where it's like, these guys are just the popular kids and being bullies at this point. I do gotta admit, my favorite joke in this episode is just when Kat picks up a fork and stares at it for like moments on end.
You're not even on the phone. You're listening to music from your playlist.
Man, Sinjin, what a weirdo, huh?
It's necessary to note that the cast and crew of Victorious didn't think that the 4th season was even going to happen. I think they were going to plan on ending it on season 3, but then they got ordered to have 13, 14 more episodes, so they had to just keep going. And you could tell, it really wears on the cast and crew that they are just trying to make anything a plot at this point. Like, they don't like to cling to the fact that it's a Hollywood art school. They don't like to cling to the fact that Tori cares about being a good person sometimes. They just have her trying to be on a TV show, and all of her friends are essentially begging her to be on her team. It reminds me of Family Feud in the way it's like set up, where they actually need to have a full group of people. The boys act like they don't want to be on her team and then start doing things for her in return, being like, oh, I'm just doing this because I've always liked you. And it's like, guys, we just looked at the episode driving Tori crazy. Nobody wanted her. Tori tries to act like this isn't bothering her, but it really is, and she starts flirting with Beck as they walk out of the room. I don't know, their relationship being like borderline flirty, but then him ending up with Jade is kind of annoying to me. And with this episode, and probably the episode surrounding it, that whole relationship keeps me uncomfortable. Like, when I watch this season, I'm like, oh, what's going on with Jack and Bade? Did you guys hear that? Jack and Bade? Can you imagine? And so this is actually the most messed up.
She's been stealing money at work. Stealing money? I don't even blame her. Her sister, my Aunt Susan, she's really sick and she needs an operation, but she's like broke. Oh my God. Listen, why don't you bring your Aunt Susan over here and then I'll put on some heavy shoes and then I'll jump up and down on her face.
So Jade shows up to Tori's house, literally in tears. We think that there's going to be an actual moment, but of course they're going to pull the rug from under us. It's clever the way they integrated the transitional tweet with the scene, though, in this moment. Like, Tori tweets what her team is going to actually be, and it appears next to it. I don't know, that's just kind of exciting for me. So Trina and Jade are pretty angry, and I wouldn't blame them, but I also think that Jade took it way too far, making her think her mom actually went to prison. Like, it's inappropriate. When Tori shows up to the place, she finds out that she was actually checked in 20 minutes ago by Jade. You're telling me they didn't check her ID? Like, I feel like if you're on a film set like this, you would definitely have to check the person's ID. I get really annoyed with all these meta jokes coming over and over again. Like, I get it, you're in LA, you're in Hollywood, but like, at least lean into the school more than the location. So they throw Tori on a team with Sinjin, Trina, and Kat. And there's no actual reason for this, no intended character growth. We're almost just, it looks like this whole episode is just we feel bad for Tori plot. So not only does Jade get rewarded for doing this thing, but we're more than halfway through the episode and nothing really happened yet. It really all starts when the show goes. It's funny to watch Nickelodeon put on a fake reality show where they drop food on you. Like, obviously they have the Kids' Choice Awards, they have Legends of the Hidden Temple. Like, Nickelodeon is really known for doing game shows like this. So the fact that they're like mocking themselves in a way is kind of funny.
I'll pass.
You can't pass.
Pass.
Not an option.
I don't want this question.
You're only making it worse.
But not only is there not a lot of structure to this, but everything that happens to the characters is almost completely random, with Beck getting swung in the jugular, and they drop a car battery on Jade's head. Oh my gosh. So it's basically them getting points by being tortured. It feels like a horror movie. And then we get to see a tweet from Sinjin, which is crazy. Why does he get the transitional screen? The studio audience is really annoying in this because they genuinely cheer at a lot of points when everything about this is supposed to be a joke. So they're not committed to the fact that this is going to be a sketch or the fact that this is an episode where a character's struggling at all. It's just torturing every character one by one and then nothing happening. And even more annoying, this show doesn't even escalate. It ends with Tori being tackled by a wrestler and then the credits go on. Like, why do we have these abrupt endings? Like, you can't just write whatever you want, have these teenage kids act him out, and then just be surprised when nobody thinks it's normal. It's even more deducting points because of the fact they did this in the April Fool's Day episode. They had a game show parody already. But yeah, just the way Jade treats everybody in this situation, the way that there's nothing needed to be resolved. I mean, I guess you could say she got her comeuppance when they dropped literally the car battery on her, but at that point, I'm not even having fun anymore. I'm just like, I don't want to watch all these kids be tortured on television, and there's not even like a catharsis at the end where you get to feel better. Like, it's just other people going through stuff and us laughing at it. Like, I don't like to laugh at people in this way. They could have at least made the game show a little bit more structured, more interesting, and less random. I feel like this was just an excuse to just throw more jokes together. Like, if you guys really didn't want to do this last season of television, I don't know, hand it to somebody else. Does that work? Can you call a lifeline in Hollywood? Like, if you don't want your show to keep going? Yeah, well, I don't know. But yeah, these kids, they were put through the ringer in this with no worthwhile payoff. Like, I can't even name this season to be a good piece of art. It just feels like commerce packaged with kids selling products that they don't even want to sell, and writers laughing about it the entire time just through scripts. It's like, come on, guys, I need a moral lesson. I need something to cling to. As a 2000s YouTuber, it's really fun to look back on these shows and actually delve into the social norms that were so normal back then. Like, this is such an accurate portrayal of kind of how we spoke to each other, or at least how we thought we spoke to each other. I feel like we weren't this cruel, but then again, I'm biased. Whether it's watching a teacher be completely depressed, taking advantage of a restaurant owner's money, or a series of really awkward car interactions, the worst episodes of Victorious are insulting as a viewer. They are some of the worst episodes of TV I've ever seen. And it's one thing to say that the show is like Drake and Josh or like iCarly, but Drake and Josh and iCarly don't completely abandon all character stuff. So yeah, Victorious, I just feel like, is a shown-off show that is just trying to gloat about how much money it has, and it doesn't have any amount of empathy for the people around it because it doesn't need to. It's clearly told by the writers through kids, and it doesn't really match the personalities with the people themselves. All this could be forgiven if we had a good story, a good beginning, middle, and end to all these episodes, but when musical numbers just come in and bulldoze their way through, like Nickelodeon, you are not Disney Channel. You can't just do that. I mean, I guess you can just do it, and you technically did just do it, but stop. There's no love in this show, and a way that I am seeing in Unfabulous or Ned's Declassified, like, this is one of the 2000s failures, for sure. So I found a lot of interesting tidbits from fans of what they hated, and I gotta say, they're very different from mine, so let me just go over them real quick. Season 1 had Wi-Fi in the sky. I'm not sure if you guys remember that one, but it almost takes place completely on Zoom. Yeah, before COVID, there was Tori on a plane talking to her friends trying to get a project done. Not even an interesting premise. With everybody being stagnant, it's crazy to think that this episode was a choice and not forced to happen just because they didn't have the production budget. Modern Family did an episode like this, but it was definitely better, where one of the characters went missing and they used the video chatting as a means to try to figure out this problem from all different places. But here, it's just Tori on a plane and constant friends interrupting. It definitely delves into that Zoe 101 territory where it was interesting because of the things that went on technology-wise, but it's not far different enough where I even care what video chatting means to these guys. Like, it's not interesting, it's not like the pair phone, it's just dumping everything off the bridge. You gotta admit, though, it is kind of funny how it looks like the shots are perfectly composed. Like, who jumps on a Zoom and it looks that good? But yeah, I saw that many fans didn't like this because of its single location, like, detriment, where it's like a choice but not even artistic. The voluntary limitations of just every character being in their home. Like, it would be funny for like a quick bit where we get to see a little bit of everybody, but it feels like it's just trying to stall for time. But that was one of the earlier cracks we got to see in Victorious. I feel like if I jumped in on that episode, I would have foreseen how bad this show would have ended up, but I was all the naive. Of course, it doesn't have a good ending. It ends with Paris Hilton attacking Trina, and that's kind of it. The Breakfast Bunch is another interesting one. I really didn't like the 80s movie by John Waters. It's about a bunch of kids that spend the weekend in school detention, and they essentially copy and pasted the plot onto this. Except imagine they took out the character accuracies, the character growth, and even a reason to root for them. It is them just avoiding the law the entire episode. This guy is determined to keep Tori, Jade, everybody in detention. iCarly did this plot really well when they had to do an entire webcast from detention. Like, that would have been a good Breakfast Bunch parody, but just this is not working. And the 80s movie, like, that's not something we're nostalgic for. Like, you can throw in some 90s stuff, but like, as I was watching this in 2010, I don't think I even saw the movie. So it always bothers me when TV shows try to take the route that the same audience isn't really meant for. I mean, I get it. It's tween drama. It's just not a comedy. And so why would they throw it on this sitcom? I'm sure there was a lot of fans out there that really did like what they were doing here, and I love the gimmick of it all, but I really feel like the only reason they did this entire episode is to get that one shot from the opening sequence where they're running away. And come on, guys, like, taking references is one thing, but taking an entire show and, like, turning it into that reference, it's just a little bit lazy to me. They completely butchered the dance sequence. Like, I had to look up this movie just to see what it was actually like when they hung out in the library, and in this instance, it's just completely boring, especially if you don't know the actual movie. And even when I did know the actual movie, it's like, guys, this is still not progressing anything. They're dancing for no reason. It's just a series of montages of them acting ridiculous. And it doesn't even end with anything being resolved. They just walk away from the school, which you could argue that does happen in the movie, but the movie has a plot. Another mention is the Hambone King. I know that was also in the last section, which, by the way, never watched the entire last 13 episodes of Victorious. You will not be impressed by any means, like me right now. So Robbie posts an online video spotlighting his talent of ham-boning, but Gerald, who is this other guy, essentially like a part of this gang, claims to be the real Hambone King. It feels like one of those gang episodes where it's like all the main cast is in danger because this entire other group of people are trying to prove Robbie's reputation is just a lie. I do like the Robbie episodes generally, like Robberazzi is probably one of my favorites in this entire series, but seeing him in this light isn't as funny as it used to be, and seeing a show go down is not always fun. Like, you have the resources and unlimited time to make this actually good, and they just seemingly did not do that. A lot of the fights take place in this alley, which it's like assuming that kids are used to doing stuff like this. Like, I was never hanging out in an alley watching fights go down. Like, I'm sure somebody in your audience was, but like, you can't just take that out randomly for one episode and then be like, no, every other time they're actually living in a pretty normal world. They got a good couple of music moments, especially with like Kat and Tori and Robbie, but it doesn't really lead to anything interesting. Like, I would love it if it was like a musical episode where they actually had to sing full numbers, but it's almost like they went there without going there, or went there on a budget. If we could just empathize with Robbie in this situation, at least just feel bad for him, that would be one thing, but they keep giving us traits about him to not like, so it's like, I'm almost on the other team's side for this. It culminates in one final Hambone challenge where Tori ends up being the one stepping in and winning it for everybody, which could be a really sweet moment, but there was no reason for that to happen. It just is the fact that Victorious is the main character. But yeah, I had to do those follow-ups because there's just so many of these episodes in this show that just downright confuse me. And I wasn't surprised to see so many people on different online forums each have different episodes they didn't like. So it's like we all didn't like a little piece of Victorious all together, guys. So while we're bonding over the iCarly technology craze, Zoe 101's PCA location central hub, or even Drake and Josh's comedy, I can't find anything to ground me in watching Victorious. It just feels all around like they did not care. But yeah, do you guys have any episodes that you think are downright ridiculous? But in the meantime, I'm just gonna keep having conversations with you guys, my friends, and continue going through all this 2000s content. It's been so much fun. I've got a lot of special videos coming up, so do not forget to like, subscribe, and check out my videos that I made in between these. I know my iCarly and Victorious and Drake and Josh usually blow up, but I really am working on some other interesting stuff, including opening a new shop with some Johnny 2000 merch. Ooh, what if I got actually the actors to model this for me? That would be like insane. But yeah, until next time, everybody, have a great day. This is Johnny 2000 signing off.